What's good, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm not going to force you to subscribe, but you do know that you have to subscribe, right? Anyway, take a look through my videos, take a look through this channel. If you like something, like. If you like something, share. If you like any of my videos, comment. But don't forget to subscribe. And if you're an old subscriber, thank you for being part of this family. So a bit of a background story to what this video is about. Now, a lady, she's giving birth. Her baby is 7 months old. Now the problem is the baby isn't her husband's. According to her, she went on a company trip and then drank and slept with a colleague from a different company. But now this is the result. The result is the baby. So she asked for advice on the interweb porno, and then people gave the advice. People gave her some advice. So I'm going to go through the whole story and then we'll go through the advice that people gave her. So should I tell my husband he's not the father of our 7 months old son? I am in a dilemma right now. I don't want my world to come crumbling down on me just because I chose to cover up one mistake I made, which has also become my greatest source of joy. Of course, I mean children. I have been married for 10 years to the man who took my virginity. However, I have never been pregnant for him, not even once. I visited different hospitals and doctors went through countless tests, but they all certified me. Alright, the last doctor I consulted insisted I come along with my husband on my next appointment. When I told my husband about the doctor's insistence on seeing him too, he he refused at first, but later agreed to go with me when he saw me crying profusely in the middle of the night. The next morning, we headed to the hospital to see the doctor, and after a series of tests we conducted on me and my husband, the doctor certified both of us healthy to bear children. He, however, advised that we wait on God. 8 years into our marriage, I traveled outside the country for a conference, and on the night of the dinner, I think I drank a little too much and ended up in the bed of a colleague from another company. I felt irresponsible and guilty for this terrible mistake. I blamed myself for drinking too much when I knew I cannot handle myself when I drink. The worst part was that since we were both drunk, we didn't use protection. What if I had contracted any kind of infection? I felt horrible. About 5 weeks after my return, I started feeling unwell, so I visited the hospital. After a few urine and blood tests, the doctor confirmed that I was 3 weeks pregnant. There was mixed feelings. I was excited and sad at the same time because I was so sure my husband wasn't the father of my unborn child. Nevertheless, when I told him about the pregnancy, he was overjoyed. He shed tears of joy as he hugged and congratulated us on our soon-to-be parents' status. He promised to take good care of me and also be a good father. Throughout the pregnancy, he was always by my side as we both looked forward to the birth of our child. When our son was finally born, my husband was the happiest man on earth. He shared in the early weeks of sleepless nights. He also helped out with changing diapers, among other things, so that I can get the much needed breast, as he also bonded with the baby. But it has gotten to the stage where I can't keep the secret anymore. I feel so guilty for unintentionally betraying my husband, but whenever I summon the courage to tell him the truth, his undiluted fatherly love for the boy stops me. He has brought me so much joy into our family. Funny enough, the boy has the infant resemblance of my husband, but I know deep down in my heart that the child is not his. The boy is 7 months old now, and I'm beginning to see the resemblance with the biological father. Should I tell my husband the truth and face the consequences, or just keep quiet and enjoy my small family while I keep hoping and praying that my husband doesn't discover the truth? What should I do? Please, I need advice. So let's get to the advice that people give her on the net. So this person says, please don't make any mistake by telling him. Just keep your marriage. So this person's advising her to not say anything, just keep her mouth shut till the end of her life. Do not tell your husband if you know that the biological father of the baby will not ask for the baby. So if the biological father doesn't know that you are pregnant or doesn't know that the baby is his, then this person is trying to say that you don't say anything. And this person says, if you know you are ready to leave, tell him. My candid advice, the earlier the better, tell him. But make sure you have gotten another apartment and other things needed for a living alone journey before you tell him. If you tell your husband and he still accepts the baby and you, don't tell the biological father again that he has a child with you. But if it turns otherwise, tell the biological father. It is a thing of joy mixed with sorrow, and you must be ready to live a guilty-free mind with little insults and challenges. So yes, this person is saying that, as I said before, if the biological father doesn't know, don't tell him. Keep it to yourself. But if you do tell your husband and then he forgives you, yes, there's going to be a bit of insult and some challenges. But as well, I mean, he's saying that look for an apartment, look for whatever you need, because telling him you don't know his reaction to it. So yes, make sure you're all good before you tell him. So just in case he just tells you to park out of his house, you know where to go. And this person says, you these married women, you these married women, boy, anyway, save to do DNA test first. Yes, so I mean, the person is saying that do DNA test. I mean, with the other the biological, the person you think is the biological father and your husband now. But I mean, what kind of excuse are you going to give to for your husband? At least you're going to find your way out and then to get something to go do the DNA. But then with the colleague that you slept with, what excuse are you going to give to him for something? I mean, I don't know how DNAs are done, but then if it requires hair or a bit of saliva, what kind of excuse are you going to get that from him? Go on and tell him. After all, he will discover the truth when the biological father come knocking on your door for his son. Just don't do it by yourself. Do it with some respectable elders who will be disappointed in you. Just be prepared. It ain't going to be pleasant. Not at all. God be with you. So this person is saying that tell people that he respects, tell elders about it, and then go together with them to your husband to tell them. But if the father doesn't know anything about it, don't say anything. But if one day he comes knocking on the door for his son, it's a whole different situation. From your calculation, my dear, the pregnancy isn't for that man you suspected. But please, I beg you, there is nothing new under the sun. Keep your mouth shut and enjoy your marriage. So there's nothing new under the sun, of course. This is happening. This is really happening. So she's saying your marriage is at stake, so keep whatever it is to yourself. My first question is, did you tell the guy who did it with you that this is what happened? If yes, then let your husband know the truth now before the other guy come demanding for his child. So yeah, same advice so far. This way says, you are lying. You yourself made up your mind to go after your husband to have a child. You did it intentionally. Stop all the blah blah blah. You plan to do that and you have done it. And whether you tell him or not, the truth will be revealed no matter how you keep it in yourself. Blood is blood. The owner, the owner will hunt for it. He's going to say the biological father will come for the baby. You will face the circumstance. So yes, so you planned on doing it because for 8 years or so you were not having a baby. So this isn't about, this is very shameful. How do you explain this? You should have told him the very time you came back if it was a mistake according to you. But to me, it was a deliberate and your plans have worked for you. If the first guy is not aware of the situation, then keep quiet and pray for forgiveness. But if the other guy is aware, then think of how to pack up if you tell him. It will not only affect your marriage alone, but the child, family, and society. Think about this before taking a decision. All right, so I will advise you to go for DNA test. The child might be your husband's blood. So to me, don't tell both of them. Your husband doesn't know that the pregnancy is from outside, and any man also doesn't know anyway, and the away man also doesn't know. So telling them both of them will reject you. Allow your husband to take the responsibility of the child until his natural death, because it's broken heart issues. Keep it until you die. Don't try it again. So those people adopt orphans to look after. You ladies can talk. God has just made a way for you to enjoy your marriage. How is this God's made way? Okay, so it's God's plan to keep you and a husband. Just close that okra mouth and live happily in the marriage. After all, people adopt orphans and look after how much your own son to your husband. I am thinking you are developing love for that guy from the other company. That is why you want to break your marriage. So yeah, this person says that she is kind of having feelings for the other guy. That is why she's thinking about whether she's thinking or not. But the thing is, she says she's feeling guilty about it. And I don't know. But I don't think this is a problem in marriages. You know, this isn't God's way. Well, the baby, of course, is from God. But then the way, I don't think that is God's way. So, yeah. Woman, man, fear wound man. Because women will wound you. I suggest earlier is better. So tell him earlier, not when he has wasted all his money training the child. I mean, bringing up the child. He will feel more hurts that time. So earlier the better. So it's better to tell him now than to wait till the baby grows up, become a man, and then this secret comes out. Child. Woman. First of all, alcohol controls nothing you do. Next of all, sleeping outside of your marriage isn't a mistake, it's an intent. You've been completely dishonest, and honestly, if I were your husband and you told me, I'd say goodbye. People should stop lying about mistakes when they have sex outside their marriages. That's intentionally. Mistakes are things done accidentally. Having sex with another man isn't an accident. It takes two knowingly between the two. So yeah, according to this person, she knew what she was doing. She shouldn't blame it on being drunk. She shouldn't blame it on alcohol. She knew what she wanted to do and she's done it, and she should just face the consequences. Most of the firstborn doesn't belong to the man. Everyone thinks he's responsible. How can a married woman drink uncontrollably? So yeah, this person says that most firstborns are not most firstborns are not the husbands. They are not their husbands. So please, this I do not agree with you. This I totally do not agree with you. Yeah, this will say there are 1,000 stories like that in this world. Just keep your secrets and be free. How can you be free with such secrets? This is going to weigh on your conscience unless you are somebody who doesn't have a conscience. This is really going to weigh on you. So how can you keep this a secret? Just yeah, I know of someone whose three children all got that way without the husband's knowledge. The husband doesn't know the secret till his death. Wow. 3 children. The children are alive and still bears his name. These sorts of issues happen because women most of the time refuse to accept the fact that we can't be responsible for the problem. The stigma is always put on the woman. It's better to keep mute if there's no problem. Many people are looking after other people's children. It's more or less an adoption. What about those who go for sperms donations? The stress will rather be too much for you if you let it out. Yeah, okay. This person says that she should just keep quiet, keep this a secret. And yeah, I kind of agree with him a bit about the advice, what he said, because yeah, sometimes both neither the man nor the wife have a problem with, you know, the delay with childbirth, but most of the time it is being put on the woman, even if the woman has nothing to do with it, even if the woman is all right, even if there's nothing wrong, it is still put, I mean, the pressure is still put on the woman, because you know, not giving birth and all that, it's like giving birth is just one person who it's like having a child, it all depends on the wife. That is what the society thinks. So then so meanwhile a best man say it isn't your fault. I mean, you're all correct everywhere. The husband too is all correct everywhere, but then it's just what it is. The baby isn't coming. Not that they don't want the baby, it isn't coming, but then pressure and everything just is just being put on the woman, leaving the husband outside somewhere. So yeah, I kind of agree with him. So this person says, tell him the same thing happened to me. He might forgive you. He might forgive you. She kept it as a secret, but I later found out because of that I don't have any fatherly love for the boy, but I take care of the boy. So yeah, this person says he is, or he went through the same thing. She kept it a secret from him. He found out later, but he still takes care of the baby, of the boy, but for fatherly love, he doesn't have fatherly love for the boy because it isn't his. And first of all, she she kept it a secret from him. So yes, these are people's advice on that. And I don't know, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what she should do in the comment section. Yeah, and yes, I agree with some of the advice that people gave. I think it was better if she had told him earlier before all this. I mean, and then you know what, there's one thing that I believe, that you can't hide anything from, we all have our secrets, and then such a secret, there's no way you can hide it. With that, with the somebody's advice that the person was like 3 kids weren't the man's 3 kids weren't the man's, and then he's dead, but the kids still have his surname and all that. I bet you that he knew that the kids weren't his, but then he decided not to say anything about it. I bet you that he knew that the kids weren't his, because 3 pounds. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this whole thing. Leave a comment in the comments section. Yeah, and then I will see you guys some other time. Bye bye.